Welcome back to NBA Cinema. Today we have to talk about Josh Giddey and Alex Caruso straight up trade between the Chicago Bulls and the Oklahoma City Thunder. As obviously the Thunder's looking for another identity player. You look at the way that LeGuent's Dort was able to guard Luka Doncic, the way he guarded everybody. You could tell like who Dort was guarding just by looking at the box score of the top players in the NBA. He's a very valued commodity for that team, and he helps establish the perimeter defensive identity, but also strong enough to guard bigger players at times. And you look at the pressure Alex Caruso puts on offensive players out on the perimeter, and so they add that, and that's big for them. And also, you look at the emergence of Jalen Williams and kind of push Josh Giddey's skill set out. Josh Giddey would have had to be a knockdown shooter by this point, but he's not. So you could tell somebody was going to be the odd man out. And as Jalen Williams continued to grow as a player, you add Chet Holmgren, you add, well, Shea was already a dog. And so now you have your big three, and you see other role players can fill in different roles, and they probably need a bigger big. Somebody like Clint Capella that's going to be available. You bring that in beside Chet Holmgren so you could have a presence down low. And then I think OKC really, you think about it, they're right there then in the thick of things, and they may be in the finals next year. If they add a big post presence to put beside Chet Holmgren. Um, but on the Chicago Bulls side of thing, that move was interesting. You look at Coby White, his emergence. Is he gonna play the one or the two? I thought he did a good job showing he's a lead guard in the NBA this year, and he has such a diverse skill set and size that you could play another point guard with him because Kobe can go off the ball, still be effective, but also run the one. And so they bring in Josh Giddey. While he's talented, he's a nice distributor. Um, it begs the question, like Lonzo Ball was talking about, he was ready to come back, and now it looks like they've moved on from that, and they kind of just see him as damaged goods. It's obvious if you bring in a young player like Josh Giddey. So Lonzo may be on the move, man. We saw him trying to come back and show that he's a really good player, and that he can bounce and do all that, but he's just been out a little bit too long, and they had to move on. They had to move on, and Josh Giddey, a young talent, they're looking to pair with Coby White. We'll see how that works out for them. But Josh Giddey, the experiment over there in OKC had run its course at this point, and he has spoke on how hard this year was for him.
You don't feel like getting out of bed. Um, for a number of reasons. And as I said, I'm just lucky to have people around me that care, that were there for me, and um, coming in every day, seeing my teammates, that helps. Being in the gym, working out, that definitely helps. But um, yeah, there's a million things, but they're probably the few that help the most, I guess, with staying on track and drowning out outside noise.
So with everything that went on off the court with him, it was time. It made it easier for OKC to part ways with him, especially with other players emerging and really being cornerstones of the way the franchise wants to move going forward. It was kind of an easy decision for them. Lonzo Ball, he's probably going to become available, but he probably is going to have to get like a minimum type contract if somebody else does sign him though, because his body is broken down over the last few years, going all the way back to his time in New Orleans and even some in LA when he was young. His body has never been healthy. So we're gonna see like how his NBA career plays out. I think OKC made the move that had to be made, though we all saw this coming from a mile away. We knew somebody was the odd man out, and Josh Giddey, it's just him, period. But maybe he could find a home in Chicago. Maybe he can rebuild himself back up. He's playing alongside Coby White. Um, but he's still going to have to beat out Ayo DeSumo because DeSumo has some big games for them. And so So it's not a given, but he does bring a 6'8" frame, see over the defense, can pass the rock. You got lethal scorers like DeRozan, Kobe. Um, so again, it's gonna come down to what he wasn't able to do in OKC: make open shots, spread the defense, take your driving lanes when they're there, because they're gonna be there with Kobe and DeRozan out there on the floor. So you're gonna have to do that. I think they're gonna trade Zach Levine. I don't know how much value they get back for that, but they do need to kind of move him and really start seeing can they build a team that starts to compete. Not in that 10th slot all the time, but try to get in the top six of the Eastern Conference. And position yourself for the NBA playoffs. Um, so yeah, man, I just want to know what you guys think about this. Where do you think Lonzo gonna end up? What do you think about this move with Alex Caruso going to OKC? And what do you think about Josh Giddey, uh, landing in Chicago? Who do you think won? What do you think is gonna happen with Lonzo in the future? Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.